So it's been way too long since I recorded one of these videos. This is something that I intended to do routinely and consistently. And it's been months. And that's the thing about habit forming, man. You fall off, or you take a week off, take a break, and all of a sudden, months go by. The last video I posted, because I just had to go back and watch, the last video I posted was when I just started my car sales job about 5 months ago. And I figured this video would be timely because I quit that job this week. Yeah, I was there a total of about 5 months, and a lot happened. A lot happened in that 5 month period, and it would have been great to do some of these updates and stuff throughout that period, but that's okay. Can't get that time back now, but I did learn some valuable lessons. First and foremost, very grateful for the experience at the car dealership. I think I really got what I came for, in a sense of it was my introduction to any type of sales. And it was I think it was a good opportunity. It was a good experience, in a sense that I got to practice objection handling, practice active listening, deal making, negotiating. Those are the skills that I kind of wanted to warm up and tap into, and I got the opportunity to do that. I think I was very blessed to be at the dealership that I was at. I heard a lot of things about how the car industry can be, car sales industry can be. And that was not my experience at the dealership. Everybody was cool. I really liked my GM, best salesman I've met up to this point in my life. I mean, he's the real deal, and a good guy to boot. So, that made him a pleasure to work for. And just that environment, that rapid fire environment of go, and, make the next deal. You close the deal, good job, go do the next one. You have a good month selling, and so what, the first of the month hits and you're back at zero. That was an experience. But ultimately it came time for me to leave the dealership. For a number of reasons. I mean, we weren't really doing crazy volume, and then as a result, maybe one or two of us was making any real money there. And that just for the effort that it took to do these car deals and stuff, just the paychecks were not matching up. But the biggest thing is that I came to the realization about probably last month that I just do not like the car sales business model. I think it's too much mixing and matching and not enough sales system, if that makes sense. I learned from enough people sitting at my desk saying, "Oh, we loved you, you were great, the car is great, we were nervous about coming in here because we hear XYZ about car salesmen, but you made it real easy, but we can't afford this car, or we can't get qualified." And I'm like, after so many times of that happening, I'm like, all right, this is ridiculous. I can't outsell or outvalue bad credit scores and empty bank accounts. So that's just out of my control. And to have so many instances where I do everything right and just have the wrong person in front of me, that's when I started to realize, like, okay, this is not, and I don't want to say not sustainable, because car sales have been around for decades, and people have made lifestyles and careers out of it. So I'm not saying that it doesn't work, but it doesn't work for me. There are just too many variables that are out of my control, and then to be sitting out on the lot waiting for ups 2 to 4 hours a day, praying that someone comes up and wants to buy a car instead of going to service. And then we have the right car on the lot or in our system, and it's the right color and 4-wheel drive instead of 2-wheel drive and all this other crap. And then hopefully this person can qualify for the car and then can afford the payments. They're rolling over 20 grand in negative equity from their last car. And it's just, there are too many variables that are outside of my control to feel like that was the right situation for me. but it was good. It was good. I'm very grateful for that, and I think that was exactly the right next step I needed to take um, in transitioning into sales. But my leaving the dealership is timely. It's timely because this is the end of my first completed 12-week year. If you're not familiar, the 12-week year is a book about how to operate on just a system of efficiency. The concept of it is that we get that most of the time when we set, for example, resolutions, right, we're setting a goal for the year, right, but it's almost impossible to predict what's going to happen 12 months out, right. But there are 13-week periods in the year, right. 52 divided by 4 is 13. And so if you break those 4 quarters up, those 4 chunks up into, and you turn 12 of those weeks into your year, instead of 12 months, you have a 12-week year, and the 13th week is for, review and planning, which is actually the week that I'm in right now before I start my next 12-week year on Monday. I think, say all that to say that me leaving the dealership is very timely because now I get to figure out my next steps for what I want to do for the next 3 months, right, the next 12 weeks. And so I've been doing some juggling there because I've never quit a job before and not had a backup plan in place. But that's really what I felt called to do. Just circumstantially, spiritually, I just have had a gut feeling that it was time to go and take a leap and figure it out. I've been in situations in the past where I've held on to a situation that didn't work for way too long because of comfort and familiarity, or because I didn't know what came next, and it bit me in the ass. And so my intuition was very adamant that it was time to go and figure it out. And so I'm sitting there thinking, like, okay, well, what do I want to do next? Because I do want to stay in sales, but I need a better sales system. I want to sell one product, or a small range of products, not a bunch of, again, cars across a fucking car lot. Your SUV has a different target market than your sedan, has a different target market than your truck. Your Honda has a different market than your Nissan. Those are a bunch of random products. I want to sell a focused product to a focused, filtered group of clientele, or group of customers. And so in just trying to figure out what's next, and I'm also like, the vision has not subsided. I mean, I still want to average $20,000 a month. Like, no, like, that's what I want. But I think that I may have, I don't want to say stumbled into, because I didn't stumble into it, but I may have had the perfect opportunity, or the perfect next step in front of me the whole time. As I've mentioned in my previous videos, I took up mortgage note investing. I firmly believe in note investing, and I intend for that to be the financial foundation of everything that I build in the future. And I've been working closely with a mentor of mine who has a note investing private equity club. And over the course of the past, really maybe like year or so, just been kind of helping her with events here and there, and referrals here and there, and introducing people to her and stuff. But she is rebuilding her platform, and to kind of bring some life back to it, and going all in on AI and education, and just things like that, and just really kind of going all in. And there was an alignment there, because she's doing all this because she's on a 5-year retirement plan, right? She's like, I'm setting all of this up so that in 5 years it can run itself, and she can, retire and do her thing. And me, I'm on a 5-year freedom plan. In 5 years, I will be no one's employee unless it is an opportunity that I'm fully bought in on, and I need a title, right? And so we have some alignment there with that, with mortgage notes being the method, with the way that we care about our communities and our values. There's just an alignment there. And so I asked her, I'm like, okay, do you have a system for bringing in new members, you know? And a lot of our membership is from word of mouth or referrals, or conferences, right? She's had this community for 13 years. Like, there's a lot of people who joined because they met her in person. And so I came to realize they don't really have a marketing and sales system. So I'm like, let me build it. You know, let me build you a marketing and sales system from scratch, and we can start, because she has a podcast, she's active on LinkedIn, she does live events, you know, like there's things out there, but there needs to be a front door for people to walk through if they want to be a part of this, right? And there is none in place. So I was like, well, let me build that. And so she's giving me a chance to do that. And I think it's just right in line with where I am in my life right now, where it's like, okay, I know what I want to do. I know the opportunity I had is not the opportunity for me. Do I want to go and search for another random opportunity because I'm chasing a check? Or do I want to take advantage of the opportunity right in front of me and make the most out of it? And I think the answer is very clear there, that I get a chance to bet on myself, to use everything that I've studied over the past 6 months or so since I decided I want to transition to sales, and literally build something from the ground up within a system that has already had, you know, over a decade of experience and history. I think it's really just the perfect alignment. And so, yeah, we'll see how that goes. Again, my next 12-week year starts on Monday. And so it's time to get cracking. Like I said, this is really the first opportunity I've had to kind of bring my own value to market and show what I'm made of and show what I'm capable of. And even if this isn't the opportunity that brings me $20,000 a month, you know, income, it is certainly one that can put me in position and help me build the skills to surpass that, you know, in future opportunities. Even to the point I've thought, like, okay, if I can build a marketing and sales system successfully for this company, I can package that skill up, you know, whatever up, and do this for other companies as well. Well, boom, there's a business right there, you know. And so there are a lot of benefits that can come from this opportunity. And I feel blessed to be in the right place at the right time. I feel blessed to have followed my intuition. It's not going to, you know, and again, it's a commission thing up front. I have maybe a month to sustain myself financially without being in some sort of trouble. And so I really am taking a leap of faith, and just trusting myself and creating a circumstance where I have no choice but to go hard and succeed, because I got bills to pay. And my best friend, he gave me a suggestion. He's like, bro, where you live, like, there's a lot of high-end restaurants. There's membership clubs, golf clubs, things like that. He's like, worst case scenario, while you're building this, go get a job at one of those. Go be a server. Go do whatever. Like, one, you'll make good tips, you know, because again, high-end clientele. Two, the networking opportunity is crazy, which I already know about because the gym I was working at before the car dealership was in a rich part of town. Most of the people I talked to were millionaires, you know, and we talked about all kinds of stuff, and I formed relationships with those guys. So I already know the value of proximity in that sense. And so I've always told myself I would never work in food service. That's just not me. But the circumstances show that might not be a bad idea. That really might be something worth considering. And so I'm going to go really hard at building this sales and marketing system over the next couple of weeks. But if it comes to the point where it's like, bro, you just got to make some money, I think that's a viable option. Because he was like, just, you know, take a couple part-time shifts a week, you know, do 4-hour shifts, 3-4 days a week or whatever, and spend the rest of your time just focused on what you want to focus on. And I'm like, makes a lot of sense. The more I can pour into this, you know, the more it can grow and the more I can grow. And so it's just very interesting, the situations that life puts you in. It's very interesting the way that things come together, even if you don't necessarily see how the puzzle fits until it does. So yeah, that's kind of my update now. I'll get back to doing these more consistently because I know that my future self will be grateful that I documented this journey. And it just comes a matter of discipline and consistency and just choosing, you know, the person that I want to be. And I'll need to do a whole other video about the spiritual, mental, and personal development side of everything that's transpired the past 6 months or so. So maybe that'll be the next one. But yeah, here's my update as far as getting back in the saddle and committing to what I said I would do.